Chapter 22, Example 2. It is clear at a glance that students don't get as much sleep as Moz and Robbins recommend. Do they even make it to the minimum for adults? The Sleep Foundation says that adults should get at least 7 hours of sleep each night. Is the mean amount that college students sleep at least as much as the 7-hour minimum recommended for adults? So here we're doing a test. We say 7 is the goal. Are they making that? So we're going to do a hypothesis test. Our null hypothesis will be that mu, the population mean, is 7. The alternative will be that it is less than 7, that they don't get at least 7 hours of sleep. So mu is less than 7. Of course, we have to check our conditions. This sample was randomly selected, and 25 students are fewer than 10% of all students at the college. The histogram, which we have there, we've seen this one before. So, unimodal, a little bit skewed, but not enough to matter, no outliers. The histogram of hours of sleep is unimodal and slightly skewed, but not enough to be an issue. The conditions are met. I will use a student's t-model for a one-sample t-test with 24 degrees of freedom. So this is actually the same data from example 1. We already know the standard deviation, the mean, all that information. So we don't have to go to the calculator. If you need to, you can go do that again. But we'll use that same information. N is 25. X bar, the mean, was 6.64. Our standard deviation was 1.075. And our standard error was the 1.075 divided by the square root of 25, which came out to be 0.215. So now we need to find our t-score and use that to find the p-value. So we'll be using our t-table in a new way. T of 24 will equal, now the formula for finding a t-score is the same as a z-score. So we're going to have x bar 6.64 minus the population mean, which was 7, over our standard error, 0.215. And this equals negative 1.67. So we'll go to our t-table. We look at 24 degrees of freedom. We go as close as we can get to 1.67. The negative doesn't matter here because it's two-tailed. We go up 1.711 as close as we can get. We go up, and it looks like 0.05. That's the best estimate we can get from a table. So our p-value is 0.05. My p-value of 0.05 is borderline. And I will fail to reject the null hypothesis. Is 7 hours does fall in my 90% confidence interval. There is not sufficient evidence to show students sleep less than 7 hours a night. Now, we can get a better p-value with technology. So we're going to go to our calculator. From a calculator page, we go Statistics, Distributions, TCDF, lower bound. We're looking at the left side of this. So we're going to do negative infinity is fine. And then our t was negative 1.67. So we're going to type that in, negative 1.67 for the upper bound. We had 24 degrees of freedom. Click OK. And there you go, 0.053956, which verifies our failing to reject because it's actually above that 0.05 threshold that we like to see usually.